JP Morgan, $6,300 per ounce by year-end 2026. Let that sink in. From $4,405 today to $6,300 by December. That is a potential gain of over 43% from current levels. But JP Morgan also mentioned an upside scenario of $8,000 to $8,500 if household gold allocations rise from roughly 3% to 4.6% of total assets. Deutsche Bank, $6,000 per ounce in 2026. They stated this target is achievable this year, even after the recent extreme volatility. Wells Fargo Investment Institute, $6,100 to $6,300 per ounce by end of 2026. UBS, $6,200 per ounce for mid-2026, $5,900 by year-end. Goldman Sachs, $5,400 per ounce by December 2026. Morgan Stanley, bull case of $5,700 per ounce for the second half of 2026. Societe Generale, $6,000 per ounce by end of 2026. Now, why are all of these major institutions so bullish? JP Morgan forecasts 800 tons of central bank gold purchases in 2026 alone. And remember, central banks bought over 1,000 tons per year for 3 consecutive years before that. This is structural demand. It does not stop because of a 2-week futures market correction. This is the most important thing to understand. Now here's the part of this video that almost nobody is talking about. While retail investors are panicking and watching gold drop on their screens, what are central banks actually doing? They are buying. Quietly, strategically, without telling you on the evening news. JP Morgan confirmed that 95% of central banks surveyed expect to grow their gold reserves in the coming year. 76% expect gold to form a much larger share of reserves within 5 years. Why? Because central banks are afraid of what is happening to the US dollar. They watched Russia's dollar reserves get frozen after 2022. They said, this could happen to us too. So they are replacing dollar reserves with gold. This is a once-in-a-generation shift in the global financial order, and it is happening right now while you're distracted by the daily price chart. Here is another shocking truth. The World Gold Council confirmed that global debt reached $251 trillion in 2024. That is 235% of global GDP. In the United States alone, federal debt held by the public has reached 100% of GDP. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon has called this not sustainable. What protects your savings when a government cannot pay its debts? Not cash, not bonds, gold. This is why serious investors treat today's $40,400 level not as a disaster, but as a potential gift. Now let me give you the practical strategy. How much gold should you own? JP Morgan's research suggests that raising your gold allocation from 3% to 4.6% of total assets could significantly boost long-term portfolio returns. Most institutional strategists recommend between 5% and 15% of a diversified portfolio in precious metals, depending on your risk tolerance. For beginners, I would suggest starting with 5% to 10%. Physical gold versus ETFs. Which is better? Both have their role. Physical gold gives you true independence, no counterparty risk. Nobody can give you a margin call on a gold coin. ETFs give you flexibility, easy to buy, easy to sell, easy to rebalance inside a brokerage account. The ideal split for most investors is roughly 50% physical, 50% ETFs. Adjust based on how much you can invest and how much storage you can manage. Beginner mistakes to avoid in 2026. Mistake number 1, trying to time the bottom perfectly. You cannot. Use the averaging method. Mistake number 2, putting all your savings into gold after watching its price rise sharply. The time to buy is during corrections, like right now, not after a 30% rally. Mistake number 3, selling physical gold during a paper market crash. Remember, physical gold demand stayed strong during this very correction. The physical market told a completely different story than the futures screen. Mistake number 4, ignoring storage and insurance costs for physical gold. Budget for this from the start. Mistake number 5, confusing gold jewelry with investment-grade gold. Buy coins and bars only for investment purposes. Final tip, if you're just starting, begin with fractional gold coins. Half-ounce or quarter-ounce coins are more affordable and easier to sell. You do not need to buy a full ounce to get started. So here's the summary. Gold is at $4,405 today, down from a record $5,589. The correction was driven by dollar strength, Fed holding rates, oil shock, and profit-taking by paper traders. But the structural story has not changed. Central banks are still buying. JP Morgan says $6,300 by year-end. Deutsche Bank says $6,000. Wells Fargo says $6,100 to $6,300. And the global debt situation only makes gold more relevant every single month. Is this correction the lowest point of 2026? Nobody can say with 100% certainty. But what history shows us, what the data shows us, And what the world's biggest banks are saying is this: the long-term bull case for gold in 2026 is stronger than ever. And corrections like this one are exactly when smart, patient investors build their positions. Not when everything is going up and the headlines are screaming gold to the moon. Now, if this video gave you value, do me one favor. Hit that subscribe button right now. We cover gold, silver, and precious metals every single week with real data and zero noise. And leave me a comment below with just 2 words: video informativo. That tells me you are serious about protecting and growing your wealth, and it helps this channel reach more people who need this information. See you in the next video. Gold was flying high above $5,000 for most of early 2026. Now, why did it crash to $4,400? How gold depend on oil prices? How to buy gold and invest in 2026? Hit the subscribe button, like the video, and share right now. Gold hit $5,589 just weeks ago, an all-time high, record after record, and now it's sitting at $445, the lowest price of all of 2026, a drop of nearly 20% in a matter of days. So the question everyone is asking right now is this: is this the unthinkable opportunity of the year, or the beginning of something much worse? Because what's happening right now with gold has confused even Wall Street's best analysts. But I'm going to break it all down for you today, step by step. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly what to do. Let me be very clear about what just happened. Gold was flying high above $5,000 for most of early 2026. It even touched $5,589 on January 29th, 2026. That was the all-time record. Then suddenly, in mid-March, everything changed. In just 2 consecutive sessions, gold crashed more than 6%. It smashed through the psychologically critical $5,000 level and kept falling. By March 19th, gold was at $4,551. By March 23rd, it was at $4,427. And as of today, March 24th, 2026, we are looking at approximately $4,405 per ounce, the lowest level of 2026. Now, why did this happen? 3 main reasons. Number 1, a stronger US dollar. When the dollar gets stronger, gold becomes more expensive for international buyers. Demand drops globally and gold falls. Number 2, the Federal Reserve held rates steady, no cuts. The Fed's decision to maintain its hawkish stance removed a major catalyst for gold buyers. Higher for longer rates hurt a non-yielding asset like gold. Number 3, oil prices surged due to Middle East tensions. This reignited inflation fears, which keeps the Fed holding rates up, which hurts gold even more. Plus, institutional investors started selling to rebalance portfolios after months of huge gains. And when big players sell, they hit margin limits and forced liquidations happen. It becomes a chain reaction, a self-reinforcing drop. But here is the critical thing you need to understand. Analysts at goldsilver.com confirmed that physical gold premiums stayed elevated during this crash. Demand from real buyers, stackers, jewelers, and institutions never stopped. Only paper traders on futures markets were panicking. That is a very important distinction. We will come back to this. Okay, so now let's get practical. Here is your step-by-step guide for navigating this correction. Step 1, do not panic sell. Every major bull run in gold history has included sharp pullbacks. This is not new, this is not special, it is normal. As goldsilver.com pointed out, the structural reasons that drove gold from $2,600 to over $5,000 in 12 months have not changed. Central banks are still buying. The dollar's long-term outlook is still weak. US fiscal deficits are not shrinking. Step 2, understand where the real support levels are. Watch $4,081 as the estimated pivot point according to Light Finance analysis. That is a key level. If gold holds above this, the bull market structure stays intact. Step 3, consider averaging in. Do not try to catch the exact bottom. Nobody can do that. Not you, not me, not JP Morgan. Instead, buy in small amounts over several weeks. This is called dollar cost averaging. If gold is at $4,400 today and drops to $4,200 next week, you benefit from both prices. Your average cost stays low. Step 4, where to buy safely. For physical gold, use established dealers only. Look for government-minted coins like the American Gold Eagle, the Canadian Maple Leaf, or the South African Krugerrand. These have global liquidity and recognized purity standards. For ETFs, the most liquid and trusted options are GLD and IAU in the US. In Europe, Zetra Gold and Amundi Physical Gold are well-regarded options. Step 5, how to store physical gold safely. Use a bank safe deposit box or a certified private vault service. Never store large quantities at home without a serious bolted safe. And never tell people outside your immediate trusted circle that you own physical gold. Discretion is part of the strategy. Step 6, errors to avoid. Right now, Do not buy gold jewelry as an investment. Jewelry prices include design and craftsmanship markups. You pay 20 to 40% above gold's value. Do not invest money you cannot afford to lock up for at least 12 to 24 months. And do not put 100% of your portfolio into gold. Even the most bullish analysts recommend diversification. Listen closely, because this is where it gets really interesting. Let's look at what the world's most powerful banks are forecasting for gold in 2026.